Hey my dudes, my name is Cecilia and welcome to my kitchen here in Stockholm, Sweden. Today is the first of our 12 Days of Christmas series and we're starting off with Lingonkaka. Lingonkaka, which is Lingonberry Cake, is not actually like a Christmas time treat, but it feels kind of Christmassy, so I felt like it would be a good bridge between late fall Thanksgiving and Christmas time. So let's get started.
First things first, preheat your oven to 185 degrees Celsius or 375 degrees Fahrenheit. I'm using a bundt pan for this cake, but you could also use a cake tin or a loaf pan. Oil it very well. I don't have any spray fat, so I just brush the pan with oil. Make sure to get into every nook and cranny, but without letting the oil pool too much. Flour the pan and make sure you really tap out the excess. I tapped out extra flour twice, just to make sure. Set the pan to the side. You can save the flour for something else. Into a bowl, place 130 grams of butter and 165 grams of sugar. Mix those together. Switch to a whisk and add in the first egg. Mix until combined and then add the second egg. Once thoroughly combined, add in half of the flour, 1 tablespoon of ground cardamom, a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and 1 teaspoon of baking powder. Mix together. Pour in 40 grams of milk and 25 grams of vegetable oil. Mix together. Add in the other half of the flour and mix together. Fold in 100 grams of frozen lingonberries. The batter will get quite stiff as the lingonberries bring the temperature down. Scoop the batter into the pan. Try to make sure your scoops are even. Once all the batter is in, use a mini offset or a spoon to push the batter into the pan so there are no air pockets. Smooth out the top. Pop in the oven. Bake until golden brown, about 40 minutes. Poke with a toothpick in the middle of the cake. If it comes out clean, the cake is done.
I've let the cake sit out for about 5 minutes now, so it's still really warm, but it's no longer like hot, you know what I mean? So this is the perfect time to take it out. If you let it cool all the way, I feel like it like fuses back to the form, right? Because like the butter's no longer melted. So what I do is I start to tap. And this is pretty aggressive, and you can see it's starting to release here. Yeah, see, it's popping off. And then I have my tray here, not tray, but rack, that's the word I'm looking for. And then we're just gonna hope and pray. Schloop. Now this guy is still fairly hot, but as my sous chef used to say, what are fingers for but for burning? So fingers are for burning. So yes, it's a little hot, but doesn't matter. And if it's, we got movement. Et voila. Literally never gets old. Never, ever, ever will this not be just so much fun. The oil, the flour, taking it out while it's warm, all very important, but still just joy sublime when it doesn't stick to the mold. So while this cools, we're gonna make a quick glaze. I have about 100 grams of powdered sugar. Maybe I need more. This is just kind of like a ish recipe. You can make this glaze really super runny if you want kind of like a crystally kind of look. I want a really like thick glaze. I want a really thick layer here. You don't have to put glaze on it at all. This would look beautiful with just powdered sugar on top or nothing. I, however, can't just leave it alone, so it's gonna get glaze. That was a tablespoon of milk into our powdered sugar. All right, I can already tell that this is real thick. So I'm gonna add like half a tablespoon because you can always add more, but you can't add less, right? I feel like it is really thick, but this might continue to be too thick. So we're gonna, although kind of not really. No, I'm gonna add a tiny bit, another half a tablespoon. So you could have added just 2 whole tablespoons. I'll write that down in the description so you guys have it along with the rest of the recipe as per usual. Okay, see? But now it's too loose. Oh, Jesus Christ. All right, we're gonna call this good enough for a government job. Thank you very much. Thick, but still movable. Teeny tiny spatula, piping bag. Now you could just spoon this over, but I have piping bags, so I'm gonna use them. There we go. Beautiful. Just gonna throw some parchment underneath here. Oh, if your parchment won't stay flat, you just like bend the corners and then it sits flat. I know I talk a lot, but I never like really understand like how much people know or don't know. I'm very confused as to the level of my viewers. Do you guys know things? I don't know everything, but I know some things. That's why I'm here trying to teach you. Like, I do know that I should wait until this is cool before I put an icing on, but am I going to do that? No, obviously not. In classic Cecilia fashion, we're not gonna wait. We're just gonna go for it. And I'm gonna cut quite a large hole here because I want a real thick, like, Honestly, I think I'm gonna stop there. I love those drips. I think they're so sexy. So I have like maybe a tablespoon of glaze in here and I'm just not gonna use it. If it wasn't hot, it would have like stopped the drip, but I think this is super sexy anyways. So we're just gonna live with that. I have some bubbles. So I'm gonna pop them while everything is still like moving around and hot. This is me just being real picky now. Nice. Cool. I like it. Spatula. And then you just kind of go around and you cut off the drippies. Like that. Swoop, 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 swoop. I'm also going to move it while it's still warm because I can already see that it's starting to like, if I move it, it'll like crack more and it's still like liquid enough that it'll like settle. I don't know if that makes any sense at all, but hopefully you'll see what I mean in a second. Let me grab my plate. Beautiful plate. Where is my, only Jesus knows. Okay. Oh, it was in the open my eyes section. At the restaurant, anytime usually interns couldn't find something and then we would go directly to where we told them it was and then we would like, you know, open the cabinet door or just like point at the thing. They were like, I can't find it. It's not there. It's called, oh, sorry, I forgot to mention it was in the open your eyes section. So I say that all the time and you can take that as well. If somebody doesn't see something that's like right in front of their face, it was like, oh, it's in the open your eyes section. Let's move this bad boy. I'm gonna go underneath. See how it's already like as I moved it, it's like cracking. I don't know if the camera's gonna pick that up, but that's what it's doing. Okay, ready? Wait, why don't I just use 2 spatulas? And not be stupid. What a miracle that would be. Are we doing it? Are we doing it? We're doing it. 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 Uno. Dos. You didn't know I was trilingual, did you? Just kidding. I can't speak Spanish. My best friend literally lives in Spain and is literally Spanish. And she's going to be watching this and being like, I cannot believe you just said that, Cecilia. Look how beautiful that is. We did that. Incredible. I'm so proud of us. Sometimes we make good things. Sometimes not, but sometimes. Let's taste her. Right here is a nice big old chunky of glaze. That's what I'm gonna cut for myself. Yay! Look how beautiful that is. All studded with cardamom and lingonberries. Also, fun fact, there's like this funny, not taken so seriously, but superstition kinda thing in Sweden where if you pull out a cake piece and then it sits upright, then you'll get married. And if you flop it over to the side, then you won't get married. And it's so like in my brain now that whenever I see those American baking channels and they make the big American cakes and they take a slab out and then they immediately like thunk on the side, I'm like, no, you're not gonna get married, oh my God. Which obviously is silly, but it is fun anyways. So I always try, if you've seen my other cake videos, I always try to keep my slices really high and tall so that someone will marry me someday. Who knows when that day is going to be, but hopefully one day. That's so good. It's really moist. It's really cardamom-y, and like it's sweet because it's cake, but because there's the lingonberries in there, it's not like overly sweet. Yeah, that's just like really good, man. No two ways about it. This cake is very cardamom-y, by the way. You can definitely reduce that by half. You can omit it. That's fine too. Add other spices if you want, but this is my breakfast today. That's probably not healthy. Delicious though. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked today's video, then please like and subscribe. And I hope you have a good week and happy holidays. Hej då!